Hey people, Indrid here, 3v3 Faction War. This is Quest Redemption and Chaos Space Marines versus Orks. For the Blue Chaos team, Gaius Baltar's got a Chaos Lord, a durable and destructive hero walking through objects, cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and disruption, fighting in melee. Thousand Suns elite scheme here. Alongside is desked with a Plague Champion. Starts off with a damage over time bolt gun, can get melee weapons, some strong utility and support, can also repair, rocking some black, it's the Wordbearers DLC, recolored, pretty cool. And rounding off the team, JamezNunes with a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. The Night Lord's elite scheme here, recolored. Did not throw out the Doom Bolts. Red Orks. Dolphin is a Warboss, a melee hero walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines in the Death Skulls elite scheme here. Alongside, Gomer Pyle with a Mekboy, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat, puts us a good damage with a bunch of orky gadgets, can also repair. And rounded off the teams, Saibot with a Kommando knob, an infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you, and blows you up. Orky style begins in ranged combat with a twin link shooter that's got a pretty good stun there on Sorcerer and all those heretics. Back towards the north though, 2v2 fight here, not often what you see early on in Quest Redemption, a 2v2 fight in the north. Slugger's barely getting away, Warboss is basically unscathed, now chasing down some CSM heretics in amongst some shooter boys there. Looks like the Chaos team will win out. Just the Warboss stands for the Orks now. Although Kommando in the back lines, what's he up to? Having a look at the power, might come and shoot some stuff later. Heretics are going to get on the requisition cap, are they? I don't know what they're up to. Yeah, they are. CSM leading the Warboss around. There's some Corn Worship for +2 speed. Are they going to Doom Blast and run? They can't risk getting stomped by him. CSM able to get some shots in now, and they deal with the Warboss. Just had to sacrifice a heretic to Corn, who was super happy about it. There was lots of blood when he exploded. Double shooters for Gomer Pyle. Dolphin with more sluggers up, and Saibot straight into Storm Boys, and now Looters. They didn't lose a squad, did they? They didn't lose some boys, did they? I don't think they did. Desked, in fact, all 3 Chaos players with CSM into some more heretics, which did help them out in those first engagements. Burners for the sluggers of Gomer Pyle. Central player leaning to the north at the moment. Here's Dolphin, needs to be careful. Those shooters were getting messed up. Sluggers got caught as well. That was a bit of a haphazard approach there by Dolphin. Very orky, but not super effective in this instance. But this could be. Got electric armor here from the Mekboy of Gomer Pyle. A bunch of electrical damage around him. It is a power melee DPS, that's right. Also gives him some more health. Drains energy while that thing is active. Sluggers just wiped. And those were Gomer Pyles with the burners on. Light grenades here for the Plague Champion. Been seeing these a lot recently. I'm not complaining. Chaos Lord has a combi flamer now. Nothing for the Sorcerer. Nothing for the Warboss. We saw that electric armor. And nothing yet for the Kommando. I don't think is in a garrison somewhere. Over here. Oh, there he was. He was in that bunker. Meanwhile, Chaos are on the power. Natural power here in the northwest for the Orks. Storm Boys jumping in, but got into trouble. As they often do. Plague Champion hits level 2. It's a strong start for Chaos here. Black Grenade throw. The Chaos Lord kind of special attacked them away from the Black Grenade detonation there, but they still got really messed up, those shooter boys. I think they'll be in base soon enough to get out of that and survive. Yeah, they were. Can they bash the power, though? They're on the power. Can they bash it? Here's the Grenade Launcher Heretics of Desk. I hear it kicking off in the south. Saibot able to get through on Chaos natural power here in the southeast. Havoc's up for JamezNunes. So the Kommando might need to sneak around and chuck a stun bomb on them or something. But there is Aspiring Champion Heretics here to spot him. The Aspiring Champion can see through his tricks. Havoc's infiltrated by that Tzeentchian worship, now unleashing the heavy bolter to suppress the shooter boys. Burner sluggers eat a really big doom bolt from the Sorcerer. They kind of turned around and ran into it more. Looters getting shots in there on the Sorcerer, at least trying to. They couldn't suppress him though. Not a huge amount of threat to the Looters, but they could just be outshot while in the garrison. 460 to 456. Back to the north. Turning red for the Orks. Mekboys on it. Here are not Storm Boys, Noise Marines. What were they shooting at? Oh, they were shooting at the Mekboy. It's a strange angle. Proximity mines for the mech now. Don't think it's a great shout here because of the amount of aspiring champion heretics that are around. User choppers on those sluggers there. Global buff from the Warboss gives them more melee damage and more melee skill. Down goes the Chaos Lord. Could be a really good fight here for the Orks. Hard boys on these sluggers. They barely got out of there too. Dolphin played it well. Committed to the fight with the sluggers, buffed them up, and they came through it. Now Dolphin Storm Boys, are they going to be used well though? Jumping into double heretics, which seemed like a good jump, but they got kind of messed up doing it. Plague Champion now has a Pyle Spear, great weapon. Debuffs units on contact and can take down enemy generators pretty quickly. And debuff things even more with the Bilious Discharge ability as well. Seem to just passively slowing down the Warboss on hit, who's got the spiky armor, damaging nearby enemies when he takes a melee hit. Also nice health and health regen. The north will stay red though for the Orks. Back to the south. Kommando versus Sorcerer. Who's got the most tricks? Stun bomb on those heretics there. Aspiring champion gets a bolt gun these days with those grenade launchers. I don't think I'll ever get used to it. It's cool though. I'm all for it. Chaos Sorcerer's got the Rod of Warp Fire queued up for tier 2. Hard Boys used on the sluggers of Gomer Pyle thanks to Dolphin. I think you really need to be liberal. Use those globals every fight you can with the Warboss. They're so good. Here comes that Combi Flamer Chaos Lord back to his feet. Was revived, of course, by a Desked Plague Champion. Is level 3 now. There's some electric armor. Bad news for those heretics, but they do get away. Desked in tier 2 with a whole bunch of resources. Gomer Pyle is floating tier 1 like crazy here. They have well over 200 power, and they haven't started their tier 2 yet. Remember when I said the mines were a bad idea? But we just saw them get a hit there. Because the heretics of Desked have no aspiring champions. Meanwhile, on Orcs Natural Power Southwest, we got a Shrine of Zeech providing a 10% damage resistance buff to JamezNunes' units here, and he can build multiple shrines and it will stack up. Also shoots out Doom Bolts, of course, and it's being worshipped, so he's shooting out Doom Bolts even more. Havocs are deep to cover this whole thing. Doom Bolts of the Sorcerer flying in too, just consumed one of those heretics to get some energy and health back. Can they get onto the power again? Got CSM here, which can help bash. Desked with a Chaos Dreadnought on the way. Gaius Baltar with some Plague Marines. Got that snaring missile launcher and some Plague Bolters. Seems like Gaius lately been getting those Plague Marines up early in tier 2. It's always a safe shout, I think. Not always the most efficient or the best counter. It's never a terrible choice. They've always got something they can do, such as wade into a bunch of melee and dare them to make you explode. There we go. Plague Marines explode on death, helps get a kill on those sluggers there. They also passively slow down nearby enemies. The Orcs lost a lot of bodies there, including an entire slugger squad, as you saw for Dolphin. Weird Boy on the way. Chaos Dreadnought on the way for JamezNunes. Always think pretty much a Weird Boy is a great choice in a 3v3 for Orcs. Unless you're on a solo lane and your opponent gets like an immediate Dreadnought or something. Even then, you can get your anti-vehicle and the Weird Boy up, I think. The looters here are Saibots, who's got a war truck, which is getting some repairs already. In the northwest, Chaos on power again. Those structures being shaken apart by the sonic blast of that thing also shuts down ranged weaponry. Mekboy taking a whole bunch of damage there pretty quickly. The Chaos Dreadnought begins with an autocannon and an underslung twin-linked heavy bolter. I've grown to like this autocannon quite a lot, actually. I was a bit down on it over the years, but I think it does some good work alongside the heavy bolter. They did buff that heavy bolter in Elite mod, though. Especially if you can support it now with the Nurgle worship and stuff. Would still love to see a Mark of Nurgle Chaos Dreadnought. Because of course I would. Stormboys jumping in on some heretics. Those are aspiring champion heretics, though. Maybe they should get onto the Blastmaster noise rings. You know what? They just did a whole bunch of friendly fire. Maybe not. Just let them shoot stuff. Mekboy gets a big hit in. Blastmaster did get a decent hit on the Stormboys there. More friendly fire from the Weirdboy. The Plague Marines get away with a single model. Blastmaster was kind of vaguely useful at the end there. Now takes a bunch of damage from the Stormboys. Stormboys have power melee weapons, and their Nob Leader has a heavy melee huge chopper. So they can cleave through things pretty quickly, especially with Warboss support. We do not see a boss pole though. Warboss accessories are so good. You kind of expect to see one in tier 1 a lot of the time. That was Aura of Decay from the Plague Champion, helping to deal with double Nob Leader Slugger Boys from Gomer Pyle. They both have burners as well. Nobody super interested in getting some anti-vehicle at the moment. There's some Nurgle worship to give health regen to Desk's army. And I guess they're not interested in anti-vehicle because they've just gone tier 3. Back to the south. Chaos Dreadnought up now for JamezNunes. Sorcerer can be really good at using walker vehicles because of the warp to get them out of trouble. One of his global abilities to teleport a unit back to the Sorcerer's location. Flash gets already on the field for Gomer Pyle, by the way. Starting off with those snaz guns with tons of Daka. I think around 40 piercing DPS per gun, which is a lot. And they can get blasters going, which they probably will do here against the Chaos Space Marines because of all the heavy infantry around. Tier 3 for Desk. Tank busters on the way for Saibot to help fight this Dreadnought, which is lightning strikes on it because they basically put a metal album cover on the front of the Dreadnought, the Night Lords. Power bashing here. Oh, there's some beamy looters. And it can be difficult to spot this. Oh, do they have vision? They do have vision. It can be difficult to spot that thing getting shots in. It's not quite as obvious as las cannons are. You just saw the Dreadnought being warped away to safety by JamezNunes there. Known that he could be quite aggressive with it because of that. Back to the northwest. They are retaking their power, the Orks. 328 to 364. Warboss with a power claw now. That can put some pressure on that Chaos Dreadnought. Does not have melee resistance when it's got its autocannon. So we'll take the full melee damage, although it is heavy melee against vehicles, so it only takes 50% of that anyway. But still a big deal without the melee resist. Stormboy's out of there. Warboss is now on the Dreadnought. Can tie it up as well as it can't fire those ranged weapons. Unless it turns around, of course, and leaves. Chaos Lord on those shooter boys. Blastmaster gets a decent shot out of nowhere. Warboss is still after it. Did not use your choppers on himself. I wonder if it was used already. Might have got it by now if use your choppers was used. And that was a special attack which missed. You just saw there. Noise Marines flee. Mekboy is level 3. There's the tier 3 for JamezNunes. And Desk brings in some Chaos Terminators to help see the Chaos Dreadnought to safety. 306 to 353 on the VPs. 2-1 for the Red Orks. They've got a VP lead here. But when Chaos get their natural VP back, they're going to lose that advantage. Power bashing though. Sluggers using their burners to burn it down. Kommando Nob trying to run interference. Going to throw the stun bomb here. through it a little bit late, but still gets the stun. They got all the gens. They might not get the... Am I hearing a rocks? I am hearing a rocks. In the mid from Gomer, Pyle, perhaps. They've got the lowest red now. No upgrades yet for the Chaos Terminators. I mean, they're pretty damn good already. With Power Fists and Combi Bolters. With Demoralization on kill. Breaking stuff as they move through it, of course. Eternal War CSM with Aspiring Champion at level 3. They're going to be quite vicious with Slaughter up. Chaos getting a natural VP back. So they're going to get the 2-to-1. Orks need to think about whether they're going to double the south. Maybe even triple the south. Or if they're going to go hard on the north. Not much here right now. Just some heretics hanging out. I don't see much tier 3 going on though for the Orks yet. Have had their power bashed quite a lot. And it slowed them down. I mean, typically you'll get your power back quite quickly. So the actual power income isn't interrupted that much, but it does cost you a bunch of requisition each time to rebuild that stuff. I mean, it's split across 3 players, but it's still quite a lot. Even if they're just buying 1 generator each, that's 100 rec that they could be using for reinforcements and stuff. Could reinforce a bunch of Orks, 100 rec. Warboss gets a good special there. Oh, it's actually a stomp with a special animation. Gonna go down though. Stayed in there a bit too long. Did some good havoc though. Caused some good havoc, I should say. Still no upgrades for these Chaos Terminators. Desked. Might just be looking to get maybe a great unclean one up. I'm not sure. They're floating resources. More flash kits for Gomer, Pyle. Can Dolphin get something on the field though? Unfortunately for them, they lost their Warboss in a place that might be tough to get back without purchasing the revive for 250. Storm Boys got messed up there. Did they get away? I think they got away. Rocks thrown in. Got some decent hits. I'm not sure if it wiped anything. Flash kits now have blasters. Give me the, where's it? 13.75 psychic DPS. It doesn't sound like a lot. It's misleading because it's a burst damage weapon. It delivers all of that damage at once. So as a DPS figure, it doesn't sound very impressive. But it's very painful. It's also an area of effect weapon. And does extra versus super heavy and heavy infantry because of the damage type. Reflecting the fact that armor doesn't help you against psychic damage, I guess. And psychic attacks. Sorcerer does a fancy special attack. To no avail. Got the Rod of Warpfire as we saw earlier. Also, Demon Armor's up. 239 to 342. Well done, Saibot. Using the War Truck Whale to get some power bashes in and some power harassment. And VP harass. There it is. Kommando Knob takes it. Getting a rocket launcher now. Did get the Dreadnought down that JamezNunes had. We have a great unclean one up already for the Sorcerer player. One on the way for Desked. And a Chaos Pred on the way for Gaius. Baltar, Doombolts flying in. Sorcerer barely makes it out. Bunch of heretics with grenade launchers and some worship and stuff. Aspiring Champion fellows trying to get in, but they're taking blaster shots. There's the foul snare from a great unclean one. This guy passively damages nearby enemies. Has some nasty melee and some cool abilities too. Also benefits greatly from worship since he's a big old demon fella, a greater demon as they call it. Imperial Abyss, pretty nasty from Gaius Baltar. I love these color coded abysses we get. Such an amazing addition by Wise Windu, one of the old modders who probably hangs around and helps with some stuff still, I'm not sure. But he did a lot for Elite Mod. Chaos Predator on the way for Desked. Still no upgrades for these Terminators. I think they're just being used for like demoralization with their combi bolters. Just target something weak, get some kills. Chaos Predator with Mark of Khorne for Gaius Baltar. Buffing the damage of the guns. Also gives it a little bit more speed, which is nice. Level 4 CSM for Desked. Going into double tanks here. Mark of Nurgle on this one. Might be double Mark of Nurgle. Nob Squad finally up for Dolphin, as you saw there. They kind of got through the abyss. Dolphin saying they don't play Orc. Well, they're giving it a good go. We all appreciate it. Level 8 Chaos Lord for Gaius Baltar here with Armor of the Inferno. Oh, JamezNunes just lost something. Rocks on retreat path. Ouch. And in the path of those heretics, they do get away, I think. Great and Kimon causing havoc, as you would expect. The Blastmaster, the Flash Gets will do pretty good damage to this guy. He's got super heavy infantry armor, this big fella. Those blasters look a bit different, don't they? Is this the Goths? The Goths elite scheme here, and I didn't realise. Back to the north. Warboss trying to smack a tank in half, which he can do. Nob Squad also on it. Is it going to get away? Do you have angry bits? No angry bits here. Going after it. I think the tank might get away though. No way he's going to catch it now without angry bits. He needs to get angry. Chaos Lord, we might see the Blood Maul to help deal with these Nob Squad fellas. Storm Boys are idle here for Dolphin. Need to be getting involved in something. Okay, now they're active. Oh, just retreating off. A decent fight though for Dolphin, I think. Gaius Baltar. Oh, did he get the tank? Did get the tank. How did that happen? Well done. Maybe someone else got it, but it's down. And it is double Mark of Nurgle Predators for Desk. They get a bunch more health, health regen, and melee resistance. It's a pretty cool tank. They do become slower, and their main autocannon gun isn't as good at taking on large targets now. It's like a nurgly, stinky gun. Good versus infantry still though. And it can do some work against a large target or another vehicle. Looters with the beamy down to a single model. Could just get foul snared to death. JamezNunes down to 3 units though. Terminators and a Great Unclean One among them. And these guys with lightning claws. Bad news for all of this Orc stuff. They could probably solo this entire Orc army if they all tried to get in there on those lightning claw Terminators. 205 to 276. Double flash gets now for Gomer Pyle. Saibot with a looted tank. Help shoot down the enemy tanks. Also shoot down those Terminators, of course. Warboss level 6 goes for rear armor hits. Maybe he should be going after that Dreadnought. A bunch of Nurgle worship. There's a big vomit from an infiltrated Great Unclean One, and a Blight Grenades thrown in. Dark Flames also. Good use of abilities there for Chaos. Sluggers wiped. Did the Orcs lose too much in that fight? Look at that. Oh, is that Curse of Tzeentch on that stuff? Nope, there's no Icon of Tzeentch. You see Icon of Tzeentch surprisingly little, I think, for how good it seems to be. Maybe it's more expensive than I think, or maybe it's not as good as I think. It's the one that causes enemies to explode if you kill them while the debuff is active. Seems pretty cool. Lots of disruption. The Orcs had a rough time in that fight. They still have decent armies though, but they're really behind on the map. This power's been bashed. This one's still alright. It's got 2 gens on it. They got looted tank up. Has Saibot with the reinforced plating. Gives it the boom gun and more abilities. Flash kits need to not be shooting at the tanks. Black grenade throw here for Desk. It was spotted and dodged, but those tanks are a massive pain in the ass. Imperial Abyss from Gaius Baltar in a strange place. Not sure what that was about. 205 to 210. Orcs with a slim VP lead still, and that's good damage on the Plague Champion there. In fact, they caused a retreat. Now they can maybe get onto those Terminators. You don't want to be shooting at tanks with blasters. Psychic PvP does basically negligible damage to vehicles. Warboss with friendly fire from the weird boy, because of course there was. Looters on the way now for Gomer Pyle. They need tools to bring down all these tanks. There's 4 of them on the Chaos team. 1 mark of Khorne, 2 mark of Nurgle, and 1 mark of Tzeentch. They're all sticking to the marks of their respective gods. I like it. I wish the Terminators had marks. Just give everything marks. All the marks in there. Rocket Launcher Kommando is certainly helping out against the vehicles as well. Looted Tank is trying to get shots on that Tzeentch tank, I think. Wow, look at the damage from that rocket launcher on rear armor there. That was foul snare. The tank was infiltrated for a second. He's still stunned, the Kommando, but the Looted Tank gets it. Nicely done, Saibot. See some good plays from this Kommando. 181 to 199. And they got the VP again. Well done, Saibot. Not sure what unit got that. We got some flash kits up for Saibot too. They do have the blasters. JamezNunes with a decent amount of resources. What are they going to get though? Now that they're up, now that they know that rocket launcher's there, they might not get more vehicles. They're going for Plague Marines, and they are getting their VP back. But they got a decap. This Great Unclean one's quite low. Flash kits doing what they can to the vehicles, I guess. Uh oh. Looters go down. Did get some good shots in though. And the Mekboy's also there. With Love the Daka on himself. Or more Daka, I think it's more Daka. Lowering the cooldown of weapons and increasing the damage or something like that. It does something good. I think it lowers the cooldown. And maybe increases range as well. I think it has unique effects to different weapons though, like tank busters. I don't think they get the cooldown reduction, they get something else. 166 to 187 on the VPs. A Rock's in there. Some decent hits. Commander Nob has to run though. Terminator is actually teleporting forward, not backwards. Kommando might go down on retreat and does. They got one of those Chaos Predators though, and they got the Dreadnought. These guys need to be targeting the Terminators for sure. Look at that. Some good work. Why was there 15 red popping up there? What's that 15 red for? Terminator should be 25. Chaos Lords got Lightning Claws up of his own. And who wouldn't get Lightning Claws if they could? We have a Demonic Visage as well. And then get shot to death, of course. Of course. Why did I say any words? Storm Boys need to run, fellas. They might die on retreat here. 166 to 155. Down goes the Looted Tank. Mark of Khorne. Predator getting it done. The Storm Boys do not get out. Dest is floating resources all over the place. It's got a tank on the way now. Tank Busters doing what they can. Starting to get a grip on these tanks, the Orks, but there's more coming. There's still 2 of them up. Lightning Core Terminators took some damage, but they're back to relative safety now. Sorcerer with the Tome of Subjugation. Nob squad on the field for Dolphin level 2. No upgrades though. Oh, it has Mean Greener. And we have Nob squad for Gomer Pyle too. Another Looted Tank for Saibot. This one's done well. Levels to 2 as well. Can they push to south again? Can these guys get a sneaky decap? Bloodletters spawned from the Shrine of Khorne. They still get in there. Ouch. Tank is getting shots. These Mark of Khorne tanks are awesome, I think. Come 2 for VP, says Saibot. Come top, did they say? Not sure what they're talking about. Saibot's the southern player, commonly called Bot. Come to me, maybe? They meant to say? Well, the players are responding by going south. All the Orks have gone south. Warboss level 9 gets the revive for the Kommando Nob, and he's going to be important, that fellow with that rocket launcher. Level 5 as well, so he's doing some good work with it. Maybe he should get the better combat kit up so he can stay infiltrated for longer. Subjugated Nob squad. That was maybe a bit early to use it. Might have been better to use in the middle of a fight. They did waste their frenzy, I guess. Swarming the south are the Orks. 2 looted tanks, a bunch of infantry, including a Nob squad and a pissed off level 9 Warboss with a claw. Getting some good damage on those Lightning Claw Terminators. The flash kits will be a good way to help deal with them. Another Markov Nurgle tank, this time for JamezNunes. Weird Boy gets those signature friendly fire hits on his Orc buddies as they run into melee. It's basically required. Warboss leads the line. He's going after that Sorcerer because he knows the tricks he can do. 166 to 67. Rocket Launcher Kommando gets caught. Tries to infiltrate and get away, but gets a bit close to stuff and has to run, I think. Storm Boy's jumping in, using their Nob leader to stun those Terminators. Double Chaos Terminators here for Desk. Sluggers running in too. They can do good damage to Terminator Sluggers. Down goes the looted tank. Nob squad on that Chaos Pred. The other Chaos Pred gets away, I think. Maybe. Great and Klimon taking flash kit shots. Lightning Claw Chaos Lord shows up to have a word. 143.67. They got the VP. They're all infecting each other now. Oh, flash kits whacked there. Big retreat. Level 4 shooter boys might go down, and they do. Dolphin's down to a single unit now. Oh no, this might be their... That was their Nob squad just subjugated. Going in on some Terminators. They have their Nob leader. They should be going after these guys. Look, they're much weaker. Popping their frenzy. Keeping it occupied. Those guys can knock them off the cap. Well done, looted tank, I should say. 117 to 67. Orks are on the north though. That Nob squad did a great job holding things up, but they should have been on those lower health Terminators there, I think. It's going on north. Yeah, flash kits are having a rough time because of the bloodletters being spawned. Flash kits are heavy infantry, so they take a lot of damage from the power melee of the bloodletters. Nob squad run away. Have their jammers. Chaos Lord making sure they flee. Level 10. Level 10 play champion. Getting some repairs in. And a level 6 Sorcerer. Warboss didn't hit level 10 yet. 109 to 67. Level 6 Mech. And a level 5 Kommando does indeed have the better combat kit. Oh, it's health and health regen. I thought it gave energy as well. Huh, maybe it was changed at some point. Well, more health and health regen is useful too. Now he's level 6. Just got foul snared. I don't know why that leveled him up, but he'll take it. Something must have died somewhere else that he affected at some point. That was a warp fire. Cloud of flies for the great unclean one. Not sure what the sluggers are doing. Were they running after the tank? Maybe. Where did the Kommando go? Oh, he's running. He's just running. Lightning Claw Terminator's pressuring a looted tank. Able to get a few shots in though. Here come Plague Marines. Back to the north. Nob squad is here. And Dolphin has another one on the way. Just trying to get a decap at the moment. 109 to 53. Gonna get a decap, I think. And flash kits are throwing shots in on those heretics. User choppers and Ard boys on the knobs. They went in really deep though. Lost all but one model. And that they might struggle to reinforce them quickly because they don't have a lot of power, Dolphin. Orc team don't have a lot of power coming in. And they have loads of wrecks, so maybe they should be repurchasing generators at the moment. Maybe they feel that they can't hold them effectively. Level 4 flash kits for Gomer Pyle. Level 2 the other fellas. Got the Nob squad as well. Nuke scares them all off. They did take the VP though, the Orks. 96 to 51. Orks are holding on, but they still feel dangerous in most of the fights they get into. Chaos Lord level 10 though is also pretty dangerous. Made them give up the recap at least, I guess. Nob squad runs away. Meanwhile, blue team's natural. Those double looted tanks are a big pain in the ass. Some Orks just died there though. Kommando being sneaky. Can't see the tank though, because it also is being sneaky. Started shooting at heretics with his rocket launcher there. Tanks needing to back off. Plague Marine's getting shots in, so is the Mark of Noble tank. Might be able to get that one. I don't think the Plague Marines were moving when they should have, maybe. 90 to 48. Can the Orks break through? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. This shrine has done a lot of work up here for Gaius Baltar. Got Noise Marines as well, the Blastmaster. Marco Zinch CSM, level 4. A late game Chaos Dreadnought for JamezNunes. Maybe Mark of Khorne to throw in on the ob squads that show up here. Or maybe Marco Zinch to help with the tanks. Meanwhile, pushing through is Dest with those 2 Nurgle Preds. Tank Buster Barrage. Some decent hits. Got 2 tanks here too, and here comes the Kommando Knob. Imperial Abyss by Dest. It's a nasty one. Does take down the Plague Champion and pull in allied Terminators. Got one of the Preds down. They might get them both down. Terminators teleport in to try and intimidate things, and they got the Kommando out of it. But that means they can't teleport away, right? Can they get it? Can they get it? Looted Tank is looking at other things and is going to go down, actually. Yellow Looted Tank was getting good shots in, but Chaos take it. 90 VPs remaining. Was a solid fight. It always is. Chaos versus Orks is one of the funnest faction wars, I think. That level 10, he was level 10 for ages, this fellow, wasn't he? Plague Champion also level 10 for ages. The Sorcerer gets level 6. Under some pressure in the south, but at the end had a pretty impressive army with that Mark of Zinch Dreadnought coming out of base. He didn't get to shoot, I don't think. Level 10 Warboss for Dolphin. The Mekboy knocked over by something, level 7. And we had a level 6 Kommando with plenty of sneaky shenanigans. There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Big thanks to these players for taking part in a faction war, even if it wasn't their main faction, such as Dolphin here. Did a stand-up job, I think. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.